On a beautiful Tuesday evening. Yes, I said Tuesday. 10th day of February, calendar year 2026. Welcome in to Beyond Ringside Live. Yours truly. Oh, in Studio 1 in Pelham, Alabama. Hiding from the beer hog for a minute. Had a great night last night. Cover that in just a couple of minutes. Yours truly, Fast Eddie Lane, welcoming you into Beyond Ringside Live. The party continues. Going back to basics in more ways than one is welcoming in tag team partner, the one, the only, the hardcore heartbreaker, Sweet Daddy himself, Greg Troxel. What's up?
Yo, man, just like we talked about before, best time of year, WrestleMania season. It's that time. It's what we all live for wrestler fans, isn't it?
Allegedly. Allegedly. I will start this one out by saying thank you to everybody tuning in this evening through BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net, the Beyond Ringside channel on TuneIn, as well as Radio.net, Streama, and so much more. If you're catching us on replay, thank you. Greatly appreciated as well. Talk about WrestleMania season coming hot off of the Royal Rumble. Now, my brain has been going in 93 different directions, and that's on a good day. Sometimes it's even more, so I get very scattered very quickly. Have we really had a chance to talk about the Rumble?
Not really. Oh yeah, we did go through the Rumble, but we haven't talked about post Rumble.
Okay, because I remember we did something. We did go night after. It seems like there's still so much more meat on the bone to play with on that topic, but by the same token, you're right. It's over a week removed, and I am tired. I'm going to steal a Chris Berman line and paraphrase it. I am so tired of rumbling, bumbling, stumbling on that particular topic. However, post-Rumble, oh boy, here we go. Elimination Chamber right around the corner. You've already got two qualified for the men's chamber, one of them being the Viper, Randy Orton, one of them being L.A. Knight. Open question for everybody, and I'm going to go to Greg first on this one. Even though there are only two, and we know how things can happen during WrestleMania season, air quotes, I asked the question. By the way, at Beyond Ringside on Twix, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside, and Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside. Greg, you don't have to go through all those. We're on a Zoom call. And would it surprise you in the least if L.A. Knight were to be the one to go over in the chamber and head for Mania?
It would not surprise me, and I would be okay with it. But they got to get him really hot. They got to get him really hot between now and then. And you got to figure out what you're going to do with Cody and have but I think him and Jacob will fall into something else, maybe even a three-way somewhere. But you got to keep Cody out of that somehow, some way. But it would not shock me one bit to see LA go, and I think it'd be good because we have a very big main event on the other side. And I think this is the perfect time to have a main event that that can make a new star.
I had originally made the statement that I figured that Drew would hold the belt through Elimination Chamber. And the way things are starting to shake out on the SmackDown side, I'm no longer going to stand by the idea that he drops the belt at Chamber, one way or the other, or before Mania. I think he does hold it all the way through. Mm-hmm. And it would be, for a person who has had so many start-stop moments since he left the Max Dupree gimmick and became L.A. Knight, I think this would be a perfect culmination for him. Now, to really hit, finally, look, you hit the music, the crowd goes nuts. Rumble was a perfect example of that. Every stop along this last tour was a perfect example of that. Knight's music hits, boom. Even when the announcer, if they're doing interviews and things of that, when they make a reference to L.A. Knight, the crowd is still going, yeah, right after that. incredibly over? Yeah, I would say so. And still probably, I don't have the numbers in front of me because I didn't really think to look for them, and I'm not on WWE's mailing list for the pertinent numeric data. I'm pretty sure that LA Knight is still in the top 10 as far as merchandise sales. So I'm going to go early without knowing who the other four are. If you got Orton and Knight side by side in the comparison, I would love to see Randy score number 15. I don't think Hunter's going to let that happen. But if nothing else, if the groundswell is there and Knight goes over in Chamber and starts to head to Mania, there's going to be a rocket. And I'm hoping that they do something that is going to get and keep people's attention. Any other thoughts on that one, brother?
No, I'm curious to see what they end up doing because you said start and stop with him. I think he was really hot, but he got hot at the wrong time. Just because there's so much going on, like with Cody and Roman, there's just so much going on at the time, and everybody's like, "Oh, pull the trigger." I'm like, "Yeah, they're not going to do that yet, right?" It wasn't time. You ever watch WWE? Normally, they're patient with that type of stuff, and then you watch Unreal this last time.
Oh God!
and here's the thing: keep in mind, I'll say this about Unreal. We're not going to unpack the whole thing. That is not made for us, y'all. This is not made for the IWC. This is made for people who dibble dabble, watch it, and go, "Man, that's actually interesting. I didn't know wrestling was like that." And then they turn into watching Raw. That's what it's made for, y'all. But also
to get new eyes on the product.
100%. 100%. Also, though, people say kayfabe is dead. Now, I've always said it's not. It evolves. If you don't think it is, if you don't think it's evolved, watch Unreal and do not think for one moment there's not some kayfabe pieces in there.
Oh,
however,
good Lord.
I say all that to say that's a whole nother show, by the way.
Yeah.
But there's a part in that ladder match thing with him and Seth where LA Knight screws it up. And they talk about it, and they show Hunter's reaction. They show, I think it was Abyss's reaction, like, that's not what he was supposed to do. And it was like, it kind of shows you a part where you're like, dude, he's right on the cusp, and you're up against some heavyweights who are not making that mistake.
Right.
Who are not, it may be something subtle. A lot of people say, oh, it's just something small. But that small thing is a difference between a U.S. championship and a world title run. And that's where you kind of look back and go, is this dude truly, truly ready for that spotlight? And I wanted to see them give him that chance. I think I give him kudos. They gave Jay that chance last year, and I don't think he was ready. And I think you saw him crumble under some of that pressure. And I'm curious to see if LA Knight rolls with it. I think he can. I think because he's been hungry, but I think at one point Hunter even said he operates with a chip on his shoulder and always looking over his back, and he has to start looking forward. And I think the moment he starts looking forward and say, hey, I am that person, I am that guy, he can roll with it. I hope this is his time.
See, we mentioned the start, stop. And that is something, okay, we see the COAG near the top of the depth chart for WWE talent. And that's one of the reasons why I've always been a little bit hypercritical. I can be a little hypercritical, or a little bit critical all into itself, about whether or not they genuinely put things in place for everybody to be able to advance. Now, still one of the most talked about stories, and this is where the dirt sheets have been having a whole lot of fun and social media that much more fun. The situation with speaking of, have not watched Unreal, do not really care to watch Unreal. I have enough fun watching Dark Side of the Ring. But the situation revolving around Chelsea Green. That one's still a major topic on social media that people are still hashing out. Mm-hmm. Hayes has been ripped by social media, which I'm pretty sure that Michael Hayes doesn't care.
No.
He ain't going nowhere yet.
If his name's in the being talked about, he's taking a shot at Jack and enjoying every minute of it.
Probably. And I know that you occasionally get a chance to really pay attention to social media. The way that things have blossomed about this whole story about Michael Hayes and the comments made on Unreal, and that have been copycatted all the way through the IWC and all the different social media and the dirt sheets. What's been your thoughts on that one, brother?
I love it. I just said kayfabe has evolved. Storytelling has evolved. You don't think for one moment that they made that statement knowing it was going to upset the whole IWC? You don't think for one moment that they weren't aware? And keep in mind, when this stuff is said, it's months ago. It's not like it was said last month.
Correct.
It was said months ago. And when he said that's her role, guess what? That was Bayley's role. That was Becky's role. That was arguably a little bit of Charlotte's role in the beginning. You can go through this whole talent pool outside of a Roman, literally outside of a Roman, and everybody's had that role of building somebody else before they get built. But also, Chelsea is that person who they brought her in. She did everything she can with a certain character, and her character is built to put other people over.
Oh, God, yeah.
The Honky Tonk Man, yes, he had an IC run, was built to put people over. Jake the Snake Roberts was built to put people over. And when people freak out about this, I'm like, that actually is the most, possibly the best situation you can be in. Dibble dabble in the upper mid card, dibble dabble and have a run that is unprecedented, and eventually you level up. And you don't think for one moment they sat back and said, wow, if we even camp out on this storyline, if we even talk about her, they picked out, there's multiple storylines going on, and they picked that one to talk about Chelsea and where she could go. And they know she's over. They know she's worked her butt off to get there, and they know what she can do in the ring. It's baby stepping. How do we build her? How do we build her? How do we build her? Oh, here's how we build her. Make a statement on Unreal and watch the quote-unquote organic fans, the organic reaction, which is not organic, is manufactured because they're playing you.
Yep.
This is the magic of WWE and the magic of pro wrestling.
Creating.
Hunter gets it. This is something Vince would never have done. This is not a knock. This is not a knock. This is Hunter going, hey, Kevin and Cody, get in a fight in the parking lot in Atlanta, and we're not going to have one camera. Not one camera. It'll be caught by the fans. And what happened? They got into an argument. They got into a fight behind a bus in a parking lot, and we have multiple fans going, oh, my God, look at this, and it blew up.
Yep.
And I'm like, they know what they're doing. The Unreal, guess what? It's unreal, which means it's not real.
See, I've been sitting back saying the entire time they have just found another way to create a impromptu yes movement or another Kofi Mania. You always have
100%.
that underdog story going into Mania season.
100%. Let me throw one other thing. I know.
Go ahead.
And this is something else about Unreal. So let's go back early 2000s. Who was the best heel in the business?
John Cena.
Heel.
Well, he got booed. Nobody liked him.
He got booed by the boys. He didn't get booed by he was the number one merch seller. Number one merch sellers are not heels. So
he got booed by everybody over 14.
Who is the top heel?
2000-ish,
like the whole ruthless aggression era, even a little bit of, I wouldn't say the tail end of Attitude Era, but post Austin, post Rock.
It would vary because 2000, or the top of the millennium, you're still clocking NWO 2000 with the diluted
Evolution. You're hitting Evolution.
Yeah.
You hit all that. Hunter.
Yeah.
And what has he just positioned himself as?
Yet again,
The top heel in the business. How? The whole R-Truth thing. The whole put Gunther over Cena. The whole put Gunther over AJ, he knows exactly what. Oh, y'all want to be? Oh, okay, I'll be the heel, and I'll be a heel, not on screen, but I'll be a heel behind the scenes. And y'all just made me the heel like Vince was the heel. And he's going to play right into it. And if you watch him, he does.
Well, he played that role. Remember the McMahon Helmsley power trip, the Authority. You had everything in place for, once again, the Daniel Bryan movement, the Yes movement, which absolutely torched the earth. Go ahead.
In this case, though, he's not on screen doing it.
Right.
So in this case, it's all behind the scenes. That's why I'm like, dude, this creative team is beyond anything I think we've ever seen. Where people sit back and go, oh my God, it's so bad. No, it's because the Bloodline was so good. The Bloodline storyline and the 2-year, arguably 3-year story of Cody finishing the story was so good. You can't live up to that for the next time frame.
Right.
That you just can't. But look at what they've actually done. The story with Punk and Roman. I'm gonna bring it back to where we're going with Mania.
Right.
The story with Punk and Roman is actually magical because it's real, and it double dabbles in that line, that dancing the line, and where Roman sits back and says to him, "I'm coming after you because I hate you."
Matter of fact,
it's personal, and that's pro wrestling. It's pro wrestling. It's pro wrestling.